Would you like to do 36 deals a year? I just got out of a very powerful coaching session, so I'm going to share this one on YouTube. We do free 1 hour coaching sessions every single Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You're always welcome. But I'm going to share this video with you just so you can get a feel for what we're going through in our sessions. This was a very good session. So if you want to do 36 deals a year, keep watching this video. Watch it right to the end because I break it all down and show you how it all comes together at the end. Okay. So I hope this helps you and gets you to 3 deals a month, and then you can blast through those goals and possibly get to 70, 80, 90 deals a month. This can happen, I promise you, but it starts with because I think we're not helping each other unless we do that, right? We're not moving the ball down the field and making ourselves better unless we do that. So I think it's important. So if I have your permission, I'm going to push you a little bit, and I think that's important. I think another way to think about this 30 leads in 30 days thing um, is to think about a lead as an interaction. It's just an interaction. It's not someone saying they're going to buy and sell real estate today. That doesn't happen yet. Okay. So take the pressure off yourself on what we're going to refer to as a lead. Now, there are some leads that put their hands up, right? They send an email, they send a request, they make a phone call, they drive by a sign, they give you a call, they take a flyer, they come to an open house. Those are people that are putting their hands up going, I'm thinking about things a little bit without saying it, but they're doing it. I mean, obviously, right? There's people, excuse me, that scroll on realtor.ca or ZLT or any of the other programs every day, right? Every day they're doing it. So if you have a listing and they somehow contact you with that listing, that experience has to be better than anyone else that they're contacting. You just always think of that. Always keep that in my mind. I always think of that. When I have someone make an inquiry on anything, I don't think of them as a waste of time, even though a lot of times they want to remain anonymous, don't they? I mean, they really do. I mean, that's the way of the world right now. So there's the anonymous people, but then there's the people that kind of go, oh, wait a minute. Wait, that's different, right? Oh, wait a minute. That person gave me a little extra information. Oh, wait a minute. That person asked a really good question. That almost sounds like they care, right? Like you got to awaken these people that want to be anonymous to a point where they kind of go, oh, well, that's different. Like they're not just giving me the basics of what I want to know, right? They're not just sending me a link. They're not just, because all that is just basically saying, yeah, did my job, on to the next thing. But I'm looking at this going, I need an interaction here. My goal is to get face to face. My goal is to get into a phone call. My goal is to get in every single circumstance, and always, 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 always. That's always the goal, right? To have a human interaction. I don't need to know if they want to buy or sell a house today yet. I don't need to know that yet. I just want the human interaction. That's all I want first, right? So take the pressure off yourself. Just think about yourself as a person who interacts with humans. That's it, right? And just take the pressure off. You don't need to have a result. You don't have to measure against anyone else. You don't have to look at the successful people and go, how are they getting deals so fast? You don't need to do any of that. You need to focus on human interactions, as many as possible. And if you can have one a day, right? One a day, like one a day. Can you do one a day? Right? Like even sitting in your computer, not even leaving your house, I bet you could do one a day. But I encourage you to get out of your house, right? There are days where I have work days, right? Where I've got to hammer stuff off. But then there's other days where I'm interacting with 5 to 10 people sometimes 20 people, sometimes whatever, 5, one, sometimes 2, right? So there's, you don't have to, but if it averages out to one a day, like you could do an open house and interact with 5 people right there. Boom, there's 5 days done in one day. So would it be worth your time to ensure that there's going to be people showing up at that open house, right? Maybe do some stuff to make sure people come, so then you can compact your interactions into one event in 2 hours, right? You can get efficient with it too. So think about it, just that's your goal, right? So however you write that down, however you record it, first names only, fine, right? Jenny, who cut my hair. Yeah, that counts, right? The person you were talking to in the lineup at the restaurant when you were going to buy a coffee or something or pay your bill, right? Write it down, right? Do they know who you are? Are they going to figure out who you are? Do you figure out who they are? All that kind of stuff. So FaceTime, that's what you want to think about. FaceTime with strangers. That's number one. FaceTime with strangers, or I call them unmet friends. Strangers are just unmet friends. They're just people that aren't your friend yet, that you're not friendly with yet. You're starting to be friendly, and then they're going to remember you. They're going to remember your face. They're going to remember your tone, the things you talked about, right? That's it. Just take the pressure off yourself. But you got to be focusing on this. Don't hide in the corner and then hope real estate's going to work, right? We got to get in front of people. So FaceTime with strangers or unmet friends. How can you get FaceTime with the most amount of people in the next 7 days? That's the question you ask yourself every Monday. And then every day throughout the week. How can I get in front of people? How can I get some FaceTime? How can I get some FaceTime? How can I add one person a day that I've had FaceTime with, that I've had an interaction with? They know what I do. They know who I am. I get to learn a little bit about them. I get to learn who they are, learn about their needs, their wants, their fears, their stuff, right? That they're going through in their life. Ask a question, ask for answers. So these are, ask the question, answers will come. Our brains do this, right? Our brains naturally do this. When we ask a question, our brains naturally seek out an answer. That's what we do. That's what our brains do. We're built that way. So as soon as if you ask that question enough times to yourself, you start to think about how to answer that question, right? When you start to think about how to answer that question, little solutions come and little ideas come. And then when little opportunities come in front of you, you're keyed into it, right? You start to notice opportunities. You start to notice someone just with a glance. It could be anything. It's just a posture. It could be whatever it is. But you start to notice all these things all of a sudden. You start to open yourselves up to these things. Next thing you know, you're in an interaction with somebody. That counts. Okay? That counts. Believe it or not, that counts. Because what's going to happen is your gravitational pull is going to pull that person to you another way somehow. Again, we don't know when, but it will happen if you have a good interaction with somebody. So ask questions, ask for, and then the answers will come. So that's why, rather than going, why am I not having any business? Why can't I get any deals? Right? How do I get leads? Ask the question, how do I get myself in a position to get into FaceTime with people? Ask that question, right? How do I get myself to have FaceTime in front of people? Next is past acquaintances, right? We have lots of those. We know more people than we think we know, right? We know way more people than we think we know. But past acquaintances, calls, texts, written notes, maybe thinking of some business people we've done business with or are thinking about doing business with or whatever, just calling them out of the blue, texting them out of the blue. Hey, how's business? How are things going on? How's your landscaping business going? How's your cleaning business going? How's your, I'm always looking for cleaners. I'm always looking for landscapers. I'm always looking for handyman. I'm always looking for financial planners, right? I'm always looking for these kind of things. How's business going? You keeping pretty busy right now? I just kind of checking in just in case I've got somebody that needs your services, right? What's wrong with that? Anything wrong with that? Can anything go wrong by doing that? Right? Getting people around you that become part of your team. So there's strategic alliance type people, right? That can be past acquaintances for sure. And then there's just people that from high school, from past jobs, from past anything that you've done, right? John's got a raised hand. Go ahead, John.
Kelly, I don't know if it's a good idea, but I creating more work, just trying to convert these internet leads. And I just, before the call, I was on the phone with a lady and she's like, yeah, just waiting the market, the same like we talk about it. And
Yeah.
then I dig a bit deeper and she say, yeah, I have to sell my place first and then I will see. And I say, I would like to stay in touch with you. What about for you to see what the market is doing? You need to have all the numbers in front of you. What about if we stay in touch and I send you sold data?
Mm-hmm.
I can see the properties, what you view online, and I will send you how much they sold for. Like that, you have all the numbers in front of you. Does that make sense? And say, yeah, I would like, yeah, okay. So that's another way to stay in touch with the client.
Oh, 100%. I love that. Yeah, that's coming in next. That's number three, but that's bang on. But that was an internet lead, right? So I do that every time. Absolutely. Like a lot of buyers, 50% of buyers that contact you need to sell something. Did you know that? 50% need to sell something. And it doesn't matter where it is. Like, especially if we're in the lower mainland of BC, we're all on the same board. So we can click into that information. Hey, would it be helpful if I just sent you a little bit of market data? Like maybe, like for example, if you're on the market today, who could potentially be your competition. So you can kind of look at who you'd be up against. And then some recent sales that have happened over the last couple of months. Cause I know you probably know what they went on the market for, but you probably didn't see what they ended up selling for. So it'd be kind of good to know that, wouldn't it? Would that be helpful? How many days it took, what they were listed for, what they ended up selling for, that kind of stuff. Would that be helpful for you? Oh yeah, that'd be super helpful. Okay, yeah, I don't mind sending that out to you. Like, we don't have to be working together or anything like that, but it's nice to kind of, like you say, John, get to know the numbers and start to get a feel for what's going on with the market. And then it's all about timing after that, right? And they go, yeah, okay, cool. So great stuff. So past acquaintances, calls, text, and
I
I
think,
sorry, go ahead, John.
sorry. I think one more thing is because lots of buyers, what I work with, or it's like, 700,000, oh, can we give 650? But if they keep seeing the data and some properties here in Nanaimo still go on multiple offers, if they see the data and see people pay extra money for a property, they will kind of rethink how much they have to pay. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Like they should know what's going on in the market right now, and what is a good deal. Like everybody wants a good deal. Sometimes a great deal is full price, right? Sometimes a great deal is 10 grand over full price. But we don't know that unless we've seen enough place and you've done the research. So yes, you need to empower your people. And also what you're doing in effect is also setting up proper expectations, right? You're preparing them properly so that when it comes time to write that offer, or maybe we try something, but when it gets countered back, we've already kind of pre-prepped them, right? And they have good information. So that's important too. The separation is in the preparation. So yeah, past acquaintance calls, text, written notes. I would commit, if you haven't done this already, is written notes. You can even get them made with your little bit of branding on there. And it could say something as simple as just thinking about you, right? Just thinking of you. And that's it, like on the thing. And then inside it's handwritten and it goes in an envelope that they have to open. People don't get envelopes that they have to open anymore, right? And it could be stuck in their door or it could be mailed to them, right? Very few people get notes in an envelope anymore. So they will open them because it's as long as it's not brown, right? The ones from the Canada Revenue Agency, they'll probably open them, right? We get our bills by email now. Like they don't even get as many bills anymore. But if it doesn't look like a bill, like it's a little square one or you know what I mean? Like it's a different shape, they're going to open it, right? Mail strike coming. Yeah. So maybe you got to drop them off, right? Maybe you just do a little drop off, poke it in the door. Hey, I was just thinking about you, right? With your business card in there. Hope things are going well with you. Hope your business is going well. Hope your family is doing well. Things are great. Really enjoying real estate. It's an awesome business. Let me know if there's anything you ever need. Love to get it to you. That kind of thing, right? And just simple messages, doesn't have to be anything fancy. Your writing doesn't have to be amazing. Do your best though, so they can read it, right? But handwritten note just shows that you put time out. That's personal attention. That shows caring. There's a whole thing, a lot of things that says with personal notes. So if you've got the time anyway, and I would commit like sometimes like for a while, like for the next 90 days, commit to like 5 a day, right? Like as long until you run out of people to think about. Hopefully you bump into more people and you'll meet some more people and you write them a note and drop it off, right? Maybe meet people in open houses, you find out where they are, or you know what I mean? Like you start to add people that you could bring notes to. But I would commit pretty aggressively. 2 a day, 5 a day, 10 a week, whatever it is, make the goal and just do it. Right. So that it takes a little bit of preparation, right? You might have to go to Staples or you might have to get on, your back end of your brokerage website and see if you can find a way to print off a few things. Whatever it is, do some prep and have, say it's, I want to do 100 within 3 months. Well, then get 100 printed and sit them on your desk, right? Take a few with you wherever you go, that kind of stuff. So I think it's super important. It's a good thing to do. You'll be amazed at what happens when you do that. It'll blow your mind how many leads you'll get. It'll take time to show up, but if you do it consistently, I promise you, you will get business out of that. And create FaceTime. And it'll either be FaceTime with those people or it'll be FaceTime with people those people refer to you because you've done it. You don't know where it's going to come from sometimes. So I really encourage that. Emails for sure. Get people on a drip campaign where you're sending out newsletters and that kind of stuff. And it might be just an email. Hey, I was just thinking about you today. And I just thought I'd blast you an email, right? I hope things are well. And, I got a new website now. It's pretty cool. Check it out or whatever, right? Could be that. Go ahead, Shanna.
I was just wondering, how many FaceTime appointments do you try to schedule in a week? Do you have a goal of how many people you want to actually meet, whether it's past clients or people that you know or referrals?
My days are booked up with doing work to get ready for appointments
Mhm.
that I'm sitting toe to toe, knee to knee with right now, and it's constantly about that every single week right now. So
Mhm.
I don't really set goals. I'm operating out of emergency mode most of the time
Yeah.
to keep up with it. I'm being honest with you right now, but
Yeah.
but that's the stage you want to get to, right?
Hmm.
But I always make sure I'm reaching back into my database. So texts and phone calls and bumping into people and through social media now. Like
Hmm.
when you're in social media, you guys, and you build up your following, a lot of that following should be these people,
Hmm.
right? So once they add to your list, you see them in an open house, you get to know them a little bit better, find them on social media, get them to follow you, follow them, all that kind of stuff, and you start interacting with them. That is a whole other way to interact now.
Hmm.
That is actually FaceTime. So when I'm sharing pictures about Croatia or I'm showing, sharing pictures about stuff I'm doing in business, we're interacting actually, believe it or not. I have people talk to me. I don't even know who, sometimes I don't even know, right? But I'll bump into somebody I haven't seen for a couple of years and they go, man, you guys have had a crazy life. You got busy. Oh, your kids are growing up. It's awesome. Right. And that is, we're actually in a way kind of keeping in touch with people now. It's so cool how we can do that. It actually saves so much time. So, um, but really good question. If I was in a point where I'm kind of like dried up and wondering what to do, my goal would be getting some sort of way to 5 to 10 interactions a week, whether I'm figuring out how to meet with people. I'm doing up CMA. Like this is where I'm getting into the past client stuff. So number three is the past clients, right? So past acquaintances is one thing, and strategic alliances. Then you're getting into past clients, check-ins, written notes, emails, calls, texts, pop-by visits, well wishes, all those kind of things should be happening consistently. So we do that. We're very consistent with that, and I'm always kind of curating this kind of top 50 list of clients. So people that I've kind of just done some stuff with, and then people that I know are like A plus, phenomenal referral sources, support our business unbelievably. Like I'm constantly curating that top 50 list. They're getting the pies, they're getting the flowers in May, they're getting the, all the stuff, right? They're getting the special treatment. Some of them we're doing dinners. Sometimes we're going out for coffee. Sometimes we're having game nights with some people. That's how close we are. So I don't know if that answers your question, but it has to be intentional for sure, right? Like and I would constantly be doing that. Like you have to be reaching forward and reaching backwards at the same time throughout your weeks, right? And juggling all those balls and being able to prepare for appointments and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I always say in all my trainings, I don't know if you guys have done any of my trainings, but I always say you're preparing, you're not preparing for anything for the same day. Do you know what I mean? Like any appointments that you have for that day are already prepared for the day before. And the reason for that is because you have to be ready for opportunity in that day. If you're consumed with doing all of the things that you need to do to prepare for that appointment today, and you're consumed with that, you are not ready for opportunity. You're gonna get a phone call, you'll get an email, you won't handle it right, you'll do a quick email, you'll spend 30 seconds instead of 10 minutes, which any first interaction with somebody you need to spend time on. You need to think that through. You need to make sure that you're saying the right things, you're asking the right questions, and you're not just dispelling that little email or that phone call, right? Those things are super, super, super important. That's how you stand out. I lock in people. I call it locking them in. Ken knows this, right? I call it locking them in, because what I mean by locking them in is they are now part of my world. They're part of my vortex. And I've done enough where they want to be there. It's not like I've imprisoned them, right? Do you know what I mean? Like that's how I feel like when I can feel it when I've locked someone in. I call it right? Like I can just feel it with somebody. I just know they're locked in. But I know when people aren't locked in. I can tell they're not going to be my people. They're just whatever. I might do a deal for them, but they're not going to be my people. And that's fine. But someone that's locked in, that's like another brick with mortar pushed down. It's pushed down, right? Tapped in place. That's locked in. I'm building something. It's not just a pile of bricks that anybody could go grab if they want, right? I know lots of realtors that have a pile of bricks, and I go grab pieces off their pile all the time, right? And then I take them over to my little thing and I mortar it in, I lock it in. Locked in, right? That's the difference. So how do I lock people in? Sometimes it's, I take 10 minutes, 15 minutes to write that email, to respond to somebody who has an inquiry, right? I'm asking questions. It doesn't always work, but at the end of the day, I don't care, because they're going to say, I know they are. At the end of the day, they're going to say, that person answered that differently, right? That realtor was different. That realtor was a little more high quality. That realtor seemed to care a little bit more. That realtor was a little more professional. That's all I can control that, can't I? I can control that. I can't control whether or not they're going to do something today or tomorrow or whenever. I can't control that. But I can control my interactions and how high quality they are with people. That's all I can do. So it takes time to do that. So you got to be prepared the day before for all your appointments. So you're just going, right? You already got your plan in place. You got your head in the game already on it. You've thought it through already because you've done your thinking the day before, right? It's all ready to go. I'm ready for that meeting, because I always come to a meeting plan with a plan ready, right? So that when I get phone calls throughout that, I'm not all frazzled. I actually can relax with these people, right? And make it work. So that's the whole off track there. Anyway, past clients are huge. Past people that you've done business with. And some of you, I don't know, but if anyone's been in the business longer than 5 years and they haven't talked to some people for 4 years, right? You're probably going, ooh, how do I talk to him now? Well, that's the first thing you say then. You know what? I can't believe this. I'm so embarrassed. It's been like 4 years since we've talked. We had a meeting with a lady. We had a listing meeting 3 years ago with her. She called us again. I think we're kind of ready to talk more seriously about this. And when I sat down with her and I looked in my past notes, I was like, holy crap, it's been 3 years. I think I've touched base with her a couple of times, but that's horrible, right? I never want to feel that way. I hate feeling that way, but it happens. Where none of us are perfect. But she called us. We had a great meeting. Anyway, and any one of those groups says, hey, yeah, can you do this for me? Hey, can you come over and chat? Hey, or I have someone that's thinking about blah, 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 blah. In any of those groups, from any of those activities that you've done, or you just meet someone, have a great exchange, add them to your list, that counts, right? So you have a meet somebody, have a great exchange, past clients, have a good conversation, that counts. That counts. Okay. So it gets easier, guys, to hit your 30, right? It gets easier and easier and easier to hit your 30. You can have 20 people come through an open house, but if you have a good interaction with like 4 out of those 20, like really good conversations, you get their contact info, maybe even, a little bit of instruction on what you're going to do for them on Monday or Tuesday or whatever, right? That is a phenomenal positive interaction. You don't have to be selling a house today. Go ahead, Parm.
I actually had an interesting one. I was doing an open house at the Huron there, and someone came in and they were from Iran. And I told them, I said, hey, one day I'd like to ride my motorcycle from England to the other side of India and go through Iran because I heard the people are very nice there. We talked for like an hour there, and the guy, lady's husband, he said, Parm, you need to read this book, Motorcycle Maintenance. It's not about motorcycle maintenance. So I started the book. And now I'm about like 25, 30% through. So I'm like, as soon as I'm done, I need to get back to that guy and tell him that I actually finished the book, and it was and it actually, I know it already is a really good recommendation.
Yeah.
But I found that because I wasn't in such a rush that day,
Yeah.
we stood there and we talked about anything and everything.
Yeah.
That I feel confident that if they really are serious one day, they might actually call me.
Yes, they will.
Right.
They absolutely will. I had that same interaction. We had a really slow open house up on Crimson Ridge. I had this family come in, and they aren't ready to buy. They're renting in the area, and they just moved out from Ontario, and they have a place to sell out there, but they're just trying to figure out where they're going to live and get their roots planted a little bit. So we just had this great conversation. 5 months later, they see that I'm doing an open house, and their daughter says, we should go see Kelly at the open house. And so their family comes, and they came to visit. They came to talk about life. We just talked about all these different things. They're asking me about my family. I'm talking about their family, and we're just talking about life. We exchange information. I've got them in my database. They get the newsletter once in a while. They're going to buy one day. They're not ready to buy right now. They need to get their job stability handled. It's maybe take a year or two, but we've created a relationship, and it was just because we were able to just talk and just be people, right? Like that human exchange. So that's a seed planted for way down the road, right? And that's okay. There's some people that were renters in a place that I sold. We met them. They're from Africa, very solid family. They have money, but they need time to get through their PNP thing with the business they bought, and they can't buy until that's done. And they've got their actual what's called a permanent residency. And once they have the PR, then they can buy, and they have the money to buy. Well, it's in my books to go by their bakery and go meet them and just say, hey, I'm gonna buy some stuff at their bakery, and I'm gonna talk to them a little bit, and so yes, like this is how it works, you guys. Like this has to be constantly going on. And there's gonna be people that are your people, right? Those feel so good, don't they? Like you just know, you had this human interaction. Like you could be even you could ask them over for dinner, and it wouldn't be weird. Like it would just be a natural, there's people like that are going to be in your life. And the more and more of those you get, you can discard the boneheads then, right? Because you got so many of these other people that you love, right? For a while, you're going to have to deal with the boneheads for a while, right? But eventually you're going to get to the point where I fired one the other day. Like, get out of, I don't need you in my life. Like, I don't need that. I don't need someone like that, right? I'd love to help you. I really care about you. You don't think I do. That's fine. Move on. So it gets easier to do that. But hidden that, like, if you just think in your mind, guys, this is the goal. Honestly, 30 a month, 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 30 a month. If you could just focus on that alone, here's how the numbers work. Watch this. Okay. So past people being sparked up again, that counts. New people, when people refer someone to you or anyone that you have a human exchange with, they all count. Okay. For your 30. And I want you to start adding it up. I want you to start the meetings, guys. Okay. We're going to start our meetings every Wednesday. How many last week? And I want 5, 7, 2, 1, 12. Okay. That's how we're answering it, guys. Okay. Do we agree with this? Everybody on board? Okay. I'm going to ask the question at the beginning of every meeting. Type it in the chat. Okay. How many? How many people? I don't care if it's just one. It's okay. But let's be real and honest about it. Okay. So these all count. Past people sparked up again, new people, when people refer someone to you, anyone that you have a human exchange with counts. An email inquiry on something, whatever it is, doesn't matter. They all count. If you can write a name down, okay, they count. So remember, it's just leads. These are just leads. They're not anything at this moment. They're just leads. They're people that could potentially be in your world, right? No pressure. Take the pressure off yourself. They're just leads. Here's the deal. 2 out of every 10 will become contacts. 2 out of every 10 will become contacts. And eventually they go on your to-do list, don't they? Right? So however it works, 2, I promise you 2 will turn into a contact. Now, here's the deal with contacts. They're either a future, they're either a soon, or they're a now. Right? So they're hot right now. They got to do something right now, or they're soon. Got to deal with something. Maybe it's a pre-approval. Maybe it's I'm retiring in 6 months. Maybe it's right. Those are your soons. Futures are I'm just kind of testing the waters right now, right? Research mode, interested, scrolling, right? But I think you'd be my guy or my gal if I was going to do it, or as long as there's top of mind happening and you're keeping in touch, right? As long as there's that going on, that future will come to you at some point. So over a year, right? Everything takes 90 days. We always know this. And I say this over and over again because a lot of people start doing things and then they're wondering why they're not getting results immediately. But you have to keep doing things. Nothing beats consistency, right? Nothing beats consistency. Anything consistent, nothing can beat it. So that's why 90 days, I say this 90 days thing all the time. Sometimes it'll happen quicker, but if I promise you, you do anything consistently that's more than you're doing today for 90 days, you're going to see results. I promise you on that. But you have to be consistent. You have to keep at it. And you got to promise yourself you're doing it for a minimum of 90 days. Do it for 12 months. But you're going to start to see something. So here's how it works. 2 out of every 10. So if you add 6 new people on your to-do list, so that's 30, right? So 2 per 10. So out of 30, that's 6 new people in your to-do list every single month. How many people is that in a year? 72 people. 72 people. 25 of them are going to be futures. 25 of them are going to be soons. 22 of them are going to be nows. That's 22 deals, guys, in a year. If you do this, that's 22 deals in a year with the nows. 50% of the soons are going to complete a transaction in that year. 50% of them. That's 12. And I bet you 2 or 3 of those futures are going to do something in that next year. Something's going to change. Something's going to cause them to do something, or they're going to refer someone to you. Something will happen with the futures. 2 or 3, right? So how many deals is that? That's 36 deals. That's 3 deals a month. And that's where consistency starts. But it doesn't, you're not going to have deals completing every single month immediately. I mean, you probably got stuff going on that's going to spill into what you're doing. But if you start doing that, I promise you in 90 days, as deals start to go, things are going to start to roll on themselves, because business begets business, doesn't it? It gets easier to hit those 30. It gets easier to hit those 30 when you've got 5 listings, when you got 3 listings you're doing open houses on, when you're marketing on, when you're getting calls off of, when you're getting emails off of, when you're getting, right? Like those things become your ways to get in front of people. So you don't have to think of ways so much, right? You should be always thinking about it, because if you're focusing on it, opportunity will come, I promise you. So that's 36 deals. 1 person a day, guys, is 36 deals a year. 1 person a day is 36 deals a year. At 10 grand a deal, that's 360 grand a year. Every single one of you have the ability to do that. There is nobody that cannot do that. The key element to the whole thing, you break it all backwards now. So we go from 360 grand back down to, I got to interact with 1 person a day. 2 a day is better. But, and again, average it out. But if you're thinking 1 a day, like just somehow, do you think maybe you might be open, a little more open, right? Like you might be in different circumstances where you maybe wouldn't have been before open. You wouldn't have been open before. Like, and now you're kind of thinking differently, because you're thinking, is this my one? Right? Is this going to be my one today? This person, right? Is this my opportunity to kind of, I'm having a really good conversation with this waiter right now in this restaurant. Who knows who they're going to marry in 6 months? Or maybe they're saving up right now. Maybe who knows what's going on in their life? Maybe they got a parent looking to do something, or an uncle. You don't know where business is going to come from, but you got to be open to interacting to find out, right? So it's all about openness all the time. Don't just be a customer, right? You're not there for that service. Yes, you are, but you're not, right? You're in the business of real estate. You're in the business of making contacts with people. That's your business. Your business is meeting people every day. That's your business. That's what you're in the business of. Meeting people every day. That is it in a nutshell. And it'll turn into deals later. You'll list properties later. You'll help people buy properties later. All that will happen later. But you are in the business of meeting people every single day. That is your business. Full stop. So every week, you're going to give me a number. Okay? You have to be intentional. You got to be consistent. You got to be habitual about it. These are new habits. Smiling is a new habit, right? Yeah. Creating rituals, right, that cause you to get in front of these people, right? Don't let up. Don't measure anything. Don't measure deals. Don't measure anything. Measure the amount of people you're meeting every day. Measure it weekly. Excuse me. That's what you measure. That's all you measure. How many people you're meeting, 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 how many people you're interacting with. That is all you measure. You don't measure anything else. You can measure the deals at the end of the month. You can measure the deals at the end of the year. You can measure the listings after you list them. You can measure all that if you want to. But measure the amount of people. That's all you measure. And the activities you're going to do that. So then you got to ask the question, right? How do I get that to happen? How do I get that to happen? How do I get that to happen? How can I get in front of people? FaceTime activities. So what are you going to add? So that's up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but think about that. FaceTime activities. How I get more FaceTime? What activities can I add to my life to cause that to happen? You know, when you walk your dog every day, Ken and Jeremy, I think there's some other people who have dogs. When you walk your dog every day, are your eyes up? Are you saying hi to people? Are you talking about their dog? Or are you just getting your walk done? Right?
That's funny because I do walk my dog multiple times a day, and I had one guy. Well, hang on a second. I had one guy that I say hi to every time I see him, and he's never ever said hi to me except for yesterday. Finally, he said hi.
So, you broke him down.
Yeah,
that counts.
exactly.
You know what? When I walk by you every day, you walk your dog. It's awesome. And, I've never got your name. My name's Jeremy. Right? That's it. That's all you got to do, guys. Contact activities. Add. What are you adding? So examples would be like neighborhood prospecting, right? So if you pick a neighborhood and you decide that's a good area, start to own it, start to meet people in the neighborhood. That's a good way of doing it because you have a purpose, right? You go, hey, this is my neighborhood. I love this neighborhood. I love everything about this neighborhood. I've adopted this neighborhood. And so I just want to let you know, I'm going to see every listing in here. I'm going to know anything about it. So if you ever want to know anything about this neighborhood, what's going on, give me a call. I'll send you off an email. No obligation for anything. I just want you to be able to rely on me. Okay. How's that sound, guys? Is that valuable to some people? Does that sound salesy? Is that scary? Right? Pre-promoting open houses. Hey, just want to let you know, I just talking to the neighbors close by. I got an open house coming up on Saturday. I might have some signs out and stuff like that. So are you okay if I have my sign on your corner there? It's just a good way to point people in. I want to make sure people come. I want to help out John and Mary. They really want to get the place sold. And so I just want to do my best. I'm going to have lots of signs out. Okay. And by the way, you can come if you want. Love to see you. You can check it out. It's all good. Some people want to know about the houses, right? Call your database, 5 calls per day. Write 2 note cards per day, or how many cards you decide to do, right? 2 open houses per weekend, 1 meetup per week. Maybe you get a little professional group together. You do little meetups, little coffee or breakfast meetups. Maybe you start volunteering somewhere. Maybe you get involved in some sort of organization, Chamber of Commerce or other volunteer organizations, or create your own or whatever. Any kind of public stuff where you can bump into people and you get people kind of, maybe do a hiking group, maybe do a dog walking group, maybe you do a whatever it is, right? Like there's things that you can initiate. You can even create a little Facebook group for it, right? Start to build some momentum with that. There's lots of things you can do, but whatever it is, do it and do it consistently and don't stop, right? And do it over and over and over and over and over and over again. Don't give up on it. So write them down, commit to doing them, do it. But at the end of the day, just if your brain is thinking, I need to meet one person a day, 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 right? If you're constantly thinking that, you guys, I promise you solutions to make that happen will come. And your creative part of your subconscious will start to bring those things forward and those opportunities in front of you. And you'll be conscious of it now because you're focusing on it. It's amazing what happens when you focus. So I like to create simple things to focus on. I can't make complicated things to focus on. So your verbiage when you're talking to yourself about it and your goal setting is, I meet 1 to 2 people a day. I love meeting people. I enjoy meeting people. People are the lifeblood of my business, and I love meeting people. I meet 1 to 2 people every single day. That's your self-talk. It's positive, it's happening, and it's constant, and it's now. Okay? Super important. So does that help you? 11 o'clock, bang on. Wow. Who's going to do it? Okay, guys, we got witnesses. We got witnesses. Shannon, you're a witness. Jeremy, Parm, Neil, Ken, John, we got witnesses, right? You committed in front of other people now. So we're going to do this, okay? All right. Have a great day. Kick butt this week. Happy to be back. Great to see you guys. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.